Hey people, word is, if you put your rubber boots on and you slip that sheep's back legs there, you can walk that sheep up to a cliff and hit it like this. The joke's very offensive. I remember when I was about 18, there was a new guy on the boat and he told the joke, and I guess somebody didn't get it, and they tried to kick him out of the Navy for that. But yeah, that's the joke on shepherds, is they screw their sheep. It's an ancient joke, you know, Genesis 22. Come a horde every meal the veal him. You know, that's what that means. It's, I gotta get some pussy, I'm tired of screwing sheep. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the shepherd, you know. It could be the sailors talking this way. And I'm pretty sure it's sailors talking, you know, because the shepherds have been trying to figure out how to read this for thousands of years. Shepherds can't read this. This is sailors writing. So the man in charge, the Homer Raleigh, you know, he wavers them. And they say, you know, let's go the way of more hiney. Let's go find some hiney. And this all has dual meaning. You know, a hiney is a donkey, an ass, a mule, but also a fool, a half-wit, a dunce. And Mama Fauna at Bankit, guarantee over there we can get some. It's a good place for a kid with an itchy dick. A certain he sieve too. Take its shuffle. Take its shuffle kick. You know, assert. A-S-R-T and B is in. E-A-E turns into E-E-S. And he sieve it. You know, he's certain he gonna sieve and sieve too. So he takes its shuffle kick. He got the high stepping of culture it's, you know, to culture, to plant the field, to culture it's. And them rye. And rye is twisted. And them rye we all who's 'em. Lowly old lady hear 'em as rammer alike. So them rye we all who's 'em. You know, that's them twisted, we are all those that are twisted. So the lowly old lady, you know, it's with just the letters, read several ways, but just the letters, you know, is the lowly of latched, L-A-C-H-D, latched. And so these women are chained up. And this is the eerie, E-E-R-I, the eerie measure, that more high, that more alike, and they like it better that way. You know, this is also dual meaning, triple meaning. You know, the lowly of latched, you know, to get hitched. Oh, that's a hell of a way to have to try to get some ass, is get married, you know, and that's the eerie measure. Oh, you're going to have to get married if you want this. And that tells me, you know, the culture that was talking about this on one is of latched. So they practice monogamy. And if they wanted to see the harem, you know, they had to go somewhere else. Wise come of, you know, wise come of, when you get older, you get wise, you know, wise come of. And old people, you know, they get up early. That's how you can tell they're wise, because they wake up really early. You know, they eat dinner at 4 o'clock. And so this rose early really comes over here, the remen. You know, wise come of remen, and that means to get up early. You know, to ascend, to arise or waken from rest. Old English, the remen. And wise come of remen, cover, which sat. Where from come rue, wife at. Come rue, the wife at. Give her a shot. And in senior, you know, not young man. This is in senior, in senora. What if that's its chef in new? Who in cootsy hole, who come will call. And, you know, the cootsy hole, that's the hole underneath your fire, to light the fire, to go stoke the fire. You know, that's why Grandpa said get some ass, some cootsy. In the cootsy hole, who come will call. From of me, from fume. Assure Rama more will veilum. Assure Rama to see into. Stoke the fire up, give it some light. Assure Rama more will veilum, reveal. Get some light so you can see what's going on here. So I read that all slowly. That last movie, good movie. If you haven't seen it, you probably switch to it here now and come back and catch this later. Biome is lie is. Diamond says make that I-S instead of S-I. You know, by him his lie is. His position is. By him his lie is. Who severum act. You know, to cut off his place. And so, you know, you can't think of any word in English that has two A's in a row. You know, and so a word starts with a vowel. That's why we make it an instead of a. But in Egypt, you know, a single A was the Ra. You know, it was Ra, was the sun. And two of them was a re. You know, you rod and you read up. So you're reading two A's is E. And three of them, that's why they write it like this, so they could change the story with the directional markings. Because then, you know, when you're reading it with the directional markings, or the under vowel here, you know, it's going to be a S-O, and then it's going to be an A, you know, that S-O-A, and then three A's, and that changes that into so, you know, S-O-W. Those three A's turn into one Vav, one U. But with just the two A's, you know, it's who sev, S-E-V-R, who severum, who cut them off at. To enjoying. And so this word is where your word join come from, in J-O, and then back the other way is I-N, and I-N-I is ing. And so to enjoying to, where, at. You know, so the place is over here is the at. And his eyes and saw means he was liking what he was seeing. To enjoying, where, at. From of me, you know, me is the spirit. The one that's talking is the spirit. From of me, from fume, coming up in the smoke, in the fume. From fume, more huff. And so like he got up in the morning, he stoked up his fire, and he cranked up his old mookum, you know, his hookah. And from of me, from fume, more huff. You know, this is the guy who's telling the story is me, and that's the spirit. And so I pronounce this word way more, but it has many meanings. Same as Avram. There was no Abraham in the Bible. It's an Avram. But, you know, it means the via. You know, the road is the via. And the via M is the via from. And it means your past, you know, what's behind you. And, you know, the via from, the road from Reverum. All were annoy. A rush in a Russianum clock. You know, the via from the road from Reverum, all where annoy, O-N, and then O, and move the I over, annoy. And that's the same word in the Greek that they'll give the sons. You know, it looked like this, you know, and he said, take the labit on your son. And so it reads, you know, Vi, who, O-N, and then backwards, O-Y, annoy, and who annoys. So the young men, you know, to stay here is because you didn't want them annoying you, you know, and it's the way from reverum all the men that revere you, you know, that were behind you, where annoy a Russianum clock, you know, telling you to hurry up. Well, the clock to map, you know, here. And Russianum clock to map them. The room he come where. To any wiener, milk. You know, milk is a male's milk, the seed milk, you know. And to any wiener in like, he's at the whore's place. She likes any wiener. So he's telling his man, you know, in the way from Reverum, the all who annoy Russian, telling him to hurry up. The Russianum clock, the map 'em, you know, watching the clock. The clock's in the heavens. The room he come where to any wiener in like had. A key is here. This is P. This isn't here. This is here. A key. The here when sit who. When's of the Alchemical. When's of the Alchemical, and we will come back to you. It's 'cause you like 'em, When's of the Alchemical. And I missed this yesterday, and I caught this when I was looking back at that movie. I said when I trained myself to read this, I started with the old script because it was easier to see the difference in the letters. Plus, it's easier to remember the meaning because you could see more of the picture in the word, in the letter. And then I moved to reading this block style, and I did it on this page here, and I trained myself. I looked up here to help remember what some of these letters were as I was reading, but I trained myself to never look down, and I still don't look down, especially on the shorter words, just syllables. And so when I was reading this, I was showing you where when you're reading the upper markings, it's the Pope, the P-O-P-E, the Popum, the room, R-O-U-M, the roomy. The roomy he come, and then Y-O-U-R, the roomy he come your. And that's why the donkey, the Popum, the roomy he come yours. He becomes your roomy. The donkey's roommate is the ass, the hiney. And that's why all those images of the Pope and Jesus riding the donkey, the Popum, the roomy he come your. And so the wife of remit, and remit is to put it in, to put your bid in. And so wife is the one that's taking it, so took, and to anytime you put a bolt in a nut, you're wifing it up, to put it in. And the wife of remit, it's oxyhole. And so the oxyhole, it's got a H now, but it's still, it's oxyhole, and it's whole of, it's the H-O, and the diamond has moved the E over, so it's H-O-E, but the O-E is the old, so you add an L between it. So it still reads whole, either way you're reading this. And the wife remit, it's oxyhole, of whose all fits its check. And so Isaac that's the name of his dick, and remit it into its oxyhole, of whose all fits its check, to check if it fits. In new wife bid what says is. In the new wife, the bid in the hand, and to bid what, and S-A-E becomes S-E-S, the says as. What talk from immaculate will cussing 'em each do. And so that means she's a coon-ass woman. Coon-ass woman, she gonna cuss you for no reason at all. Just 'cause she loves you, she gonna cuss you out. And so after he remit the fits its check into the wife, the bid what says as, what talk 'em immaculate. So immaculate might mean huge. We think of immaculate meaning perfect, but an immaculate conception is for no reason at all. What talk of immaculate for no reason at all, or a reason that you don't know of, will cussing 'em each do. And they didn't tell the reason why she was cussing them. Way more it's shekel. The via the road of high, more, I want more. This way more it's shekel. I want more money from her babber. From her babber, babber and babble, what she said. Way more it's shekel from her babber. Maybe too. The mama's baby and the father's maybe, M-A-B-Y, and maybe too, and way more of way more hiney been, way more in has we axum way. And this is way as in anchors away. When you hear a boat call, that means, they were winching on the anchor chain, and when the anchor lifts up off the bottom, it means to weigh, is to weigh something, to pick it up, see how heavy it is. And so she says, your dick's too big, and it's going to cost more money. That's what she was hollering and cussing about. Way more each shekel from her babber, maybe two. And way more Ovie, way more Heine Ben, and way more in has we axum way is the lowly. Via more in the road high of rim, way more of rim to stop all him ired, I-R-A-E-S, ired. All him ires gets mad, all him ires. Will we sell all having, will cussin' 'em each do. And so this is the royals, because you can see here, will the cousin 'em each do. All the royals, they screw their cousins, that's who they marry. So the offering of Isaac is offering a big dick. And I was wanting to read some more on this, the other ways that it reads with the directional markings, but I ran into something that is platin, and so you might have to remind me to come back to this. And I read on this several times before, but I learned a lot more about this language here, and I'm fixing to bust this myth about Nephilim giants. But that'd be the next movie coming up soon. I'm going to cut this one off here. Good day.